At 60, 70, or even 80, many people think it's too late to change. They accept their illness, take their medications, get regular checkups, and let life pass them by in silence. But did you know? Several studies have shown that small lifestyle changes can make a big difference, even saving your life from cancer or slowing its progression. Unfortunately, most seniors don't know this, or they do but ignore it because they think, "I'm old. What's the point of changing?" That's the dangerous way to think. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people in the United States over the age of 65 are diagnosed with cancer at a late stage, not only because their immune systems have weakened, but also because their lifestyle, diet, exercise, and sleep patterns are no longer compatible with their aging bodies. So now is not the time to give up. Now is the time to act, whether you're 70 or 80. In this video, we will explore 5 simple lifestyle changes that can make a big difference, not only to support cancer treatment, but also to help seniors live healthier, more proactive, and happier every day they have left. Watch until the end of the video, because sometimes, just one change you make today can be the reason you live many more years, and live more meaningfully than ever. Part 1. Nutritional changes. Eat right to reduce cancer risk. Nutrition is not just about eating to live. For seniors, eating right can also be one of the deciding factors between preventing cancer or letting the disease progress more seriously. When you pass the age of 60, the body no longer processes food as quickly as before. The digestive system slows down, liver and kidney function gradually weakens, and the immune system is no longer strong enough to protect itself against risk factors such as foreign cells, inflammatory substances, or hormonal imbalances. Therefore, a suitable diet not only helps the elderly maintain their health, but can also prevent the silent processes that lead to cancer. In the U.S., many studies show that the elderly consume too much red meat, processed foods high in salt, high in sugar, but lack green vegetables, fiber, and antioxidant foods. This is the secret formula that increases the risk of common cancers in the elderly, such as colon, liver, pancreatic, esophageal, and prostate cancer. It is time for us to look back at our daily meals. A simple but powerful change is to increase the amount of vegetables in each meal, especially dark green vegetables such as spinach, broccoli, kale, because they contain many powerful antioxidants such as lutein, sulforaphane, and compounds that help clean up free radicals that damage cells. At the same time, add to your diet fruits rich in vitamin C and flavonoids, such as blueberries, strawberries, oranges, apples, fruits that are not only delicious, but also help strengthen the immune system naturally. In addition, you should reduce red meat and processed foods, such as sausages, cold cuts, because they contain a lot of nitrates and saturated fats, classified by the World Health Organization, WHO, as high risk for colorectal cancer. Instead, prioritize healthy proteins from salmon, mackerel, lentils, soybeans, chia seeds, flax seeds, foods that provide omega-3 and natural anti-inflammatory substances, helping to slow the growth of cancer cells and reduce chronic inflammation in the body. In addition, don't forget to drink enough water, especially filtered water and green tea, 2 simple drinks that have the ability to purify the body, support the liver, and provide powerful antioxidants such as EDCG, which has been shown to inhibit the growth of cancer cells in many different tissues. For seniors, dietary changes don't have to be complicated or require elaborate recipes. It could be as simple as swapping white rice for brown rice or oatmeal, cutting out sugar from your morning tea, or starting your day with a vegetable smoothie instead of a cake. These small changes, if persistent, will help clean up the internal environment, where cancer cells often silently form from small deviations in metabolism. Finally, remember, nutrition is something you control every day. And that's the best part. Although cancer is a complex disease, what you eat regularly, every day, can become a strong defense for your body. Start today. Don't let every meal be a risk you can avoid. Gue Wai Kien Fan Hoi. Bang Jukin Ben. Kak Ban Dike de Tukien. Delu. Part 2. Exercise the right way. Why walking 30 minutes a day can change your prognosis. When it comes to preventing or supporting cancer treatment, many older adults often think of medication, medical treatment, or diet. But there is another equally important factor, and one that is often overlooked, that is exercise. At age 60, 70, or 80, exercise may no longer be as natural as it used to be. Joint pain, fatigue, and underlying diseases make many people reluctant to move, and then they gradually form a sedentary lifestyle, sitting a lot, lying down a lot, and becoming increasingly weak. This is extremely dangerous. Regular exercise not only helps improve physical strength, increase circulation, maintain muscle mass, and flexibility in the elderly, but also has a direct impact on the immune system and metabolism, factors that play a vital role in controlling or slowing the growth of cancer cells. A study at the National Cancer Institute in the United States showed that elderly people who maintain a light level of exercise, such as walking briskly for 30 minutes a day, have a significantly lower cancer mortality rate than those who are sedentary. Even for patients who have been diagnosed with cancer, regular exercise also helps improve treatment effectiveness, reduce the side effects of chemotherapy and radiotherapy, as well as improve mood and quality of life. Why is that? Because when exercising, the body secretes many beneficial substances, such as endorphins, a natural pain reliever, serotonin to improve mood, and anti-inflammatory cytokines that help prevent a favorable environment for cancer cells to develop. There is no need to exercise heavily, jog, or lift weights. For the elderly, just walking regularly for 30 minutes a day, divided into 2 to 3 times if necessary, is enough to start the entire circulatory system, help increase the amount of oxygen in the blood, improve sleep, help digestion better, and especially keep the mind more alert and clear. In addition to walking, other gentle exercises such as yoga, tai chi, swimming, or even just standing up and stretching your arms and legs every hour can also help reduce the risk of blood clots, bone and joint pain, and muscle atrophy due to prolonged lying down, factors that indirectly worsen the prognosis of cancer. Especially for people undergoing cancer treatment, proper exercise also helps reduce the feeling of prolonged fatigue, one of the most common and uncomfortable symptoms that patients have to experience. It is important to choose exercises that are suitable for your physical condition and have monitoring from a doctor or rehabilitation specialist if necessary. For people who have been inactive for a long time, do not start too quickly. Try walking around the house for 5 minutes in the morning, then gradually increase to 10 to 15 minutes. Create a small but regular habit, combined with a favorite activity such as listening to music, walking the dog, or walking with friends to help increase excitement. And if the person can't walk, teach them arm and leg exercises, or deep breathing, gentle stretching in place. Every movement counts. Movement is more than just physical activity. It's an affirmation that I'm alive, and I'm doing something to make my body stronger. For older people battling cancer, feeling in control of their body, even just a little bit, can bring great confidence and hope. So don't wait until you have time. Get up and take a step, because every step today can be the foundation for a healthy, stable future, even if the cancer is still there. Part 3. Sleep and stress. Why mental health determines treatment effectiveness. In the process of caring for the elderly with cancer, many people focus on medication, diet, and checkup schedules, but unintentionally ignore a vital factor: spirit and sleep. But the truth is, mental health can directly affect the patient's ability to recover, the effectiveness of treatment, and even the patient's prognosis. For the elderly, especially those who have just been diagnosed with cancer, their psychology often falls into a state of anxiety, confusion, and disorientation. Many people feel that they have become a burden to their children and grandchildren, losing control of their lives, and thus easily fall into mild depression or prolonged feelings of anxiety. These negative emotions not only affect the quality of life, but also weaken the immune system, which is especially dangerous when the body is fighting cancer cells. A key factor in mental health is sleep. Many older people suffer from sleep disorders, difficulty falling asleep, waking up many times during the night, nightmares, or waking up too early and unable to fall back asleep. Intermittent sleep reduces the ability of cells to recover, increases cortisol levels, stress hormone, reduces the body's ability to repair damage, and even accelerates the growth of cancer cells. Research from Stanford University shows that cancer patients with good sleep quality are more likely to respond to treatment, tolerate chemotherapy better, and have fewer complications than those with chronic insomnia. This proves that improving sleep is an indispensable part of the journey of living with cancer. So, how can we help the elderly sleep better? It's not enough to just use sedatives. First of all, create a quiet sleeping environment, cool temperature, soft light, and a regular bedtime routine. Help patients avoid using phones and TV at least 1 hour before going to bed. If possible, guide them through gentle breathing exercises, listen to soothing music, or use natural essential oils like lavender to relax their mind. In addition, talking gently, sharing, and allowing the patient to express their worries also helps them feel more secure at night. Mentally, caregivers should note that patients do not always need to be encouraged to be strong. Sometimes, what they need is to acknowledge their fears, to be sympathized with when they are weak, and to be with their loved ones without being pressured to be positive. Listen to them more than give advice. Set up gentle activities during the day such as taking a walk, watering the plants, listening to the radio, or simply sitting on the porch to feel the sunlight. Small things that can create a sense of normalcy and comfort during a turbulent period. In particular, if you see signs of prolonged depression, poor appetite, or persistent difficulty sleeping, you should encourage them to see a geriatric psychologist. This is an important but often overlooked step in the United States because older people tend to hide their emotions and are reluctant to seek help from a mental health professional. However, a gentle, regular program of emotional support can significantly improve mental health, improve quality of life, and increase the ability to cooperate with treatment. In short, emotional care and sleep are not just extras, they are pillars in the fight against cancer in older people. A peaceful mind and a full night's sleep may not cure the disease, but they can make the journey of life easier, more hopeful, and that is what every patient deserves. Part 4. Weight control and inflammation. Why maintaining a stable body condition is vital. When an elderly person is diagnosed with cancer, all attention is often focused on the treatment regimen, medications, and follow-up visits. But there is a silent factor that is not given due attention: changes in physical condition, especially weight and inflammation in the body. Meanwhile, modern medical research has confirmed that physical exhaustion or chronic inflammation is the factor that causes the disease prognosis to deteriorate rapidly. In the elderly, weight control is not simply about avoiding obesity or being too thin, but more importantly, maintaining a stable body condition, avoiding sudden weight loss, and avoiding muscle wasting, which often occurs in advanced cancer. In the U.S., up to 40% of elderly cancer patients are recorded to have lost 5% or more of their weight within the first 6 months after diagnosis. This not only makes them significantly weaker, but also reduces the effectiveness of treatment, increasing the risk of complications during surgery, chemotherapy, or radiotherapy. The exhausted body also makes it difficult to absorb nutrients, thereby making the downward spiral more and more serious. Not only that, the elderly are also very susceptible to chronic inflammation, a condition that occurs silently in the body without obvious symptoms. Chronic inflammation is often accompanied by underlying diseases such as diabetes, cardiovascular disease, arthritis, and this is a favorable environment for cancer cells to develop. Inflammatory molecules, such as interleukin-6, TNF-alpha, when increased can trigger abnormal cell division and reduce the ability to repair DNA. A body with a high inflammation index often responds poorly to treatment, is susceptible to infection, recovers slowly after surgery, and has a higher risk of cancer recurrence. Therefore, for the elderly, weight control and inflammation reduction are tasks that cannot be ignored. This can start with very simple steps. Weigh the patient weekly, track the amount of food they eat each day, and especially ensure adequate protein, calories, and minerals needed to maintain muscle mass and vitality. Protein-rich foods such as eggs, fish, lean meat, tofu, and Greek yogurt should be prioritized unless there are contraindications from the doctor. At the same time, actively supplement anti-inflammatory foods such as fatty fish, salmon, sardines, avocados, walnuts, turmeric, ginger, and dark green vegetables. Stay away from sources of inflammation such as refined sugar, fast food, fried foods, and carbonated soft drinks. In addition, monitor for signs of infection, Even small ones, such as low-grade fever, persistent cough, and slow-healing wounds, because for people undergoing cancer treatment, a weakened immune system makes common infections more dangerous than ever. If possible, you should periodically test inflammatory indicators, such as CRP, ESR, as directed by your doctor to assess your risk and make timely adjustments. And finally, don't overlook the role of gentle exercise, as discussed in the previous section, because regular exercise helps reduce inflammation naturally, while also helping to maintain muscle mass. Ensuring adequate sleep and reducing stress are also important factors to help the elderly balance their immune system and reduce the risk of chronic inflammation. In short, in the journey of treating and living with cancer, the elderly need more than just medicine and good doctors. They need a stable physical condition. And that stability starts with a stable weight, a healthy diet, natural anti-inflammatory abilities, and detailed, close daily care from loved ones. It's not easy, but it's completely possible and well worth the effort. Part 5. Regular checkups and close monitoring. Early detection is a chance of survival. For older adults, time can be an ally or an enemy in the fight against cancer, and that depends a lot on proactive monitoring and regular checkups. In fact, many cases of cancer in older adults in the U.S. are only detected at a late stage, when the chance of effective treatment has significantly decreased. Not because the disease develops too quickly, but because it progresses silently in a body where unusual signs are easily confused with signs of aging. Fatigue, weight loss, dull pain, changes in digestive habits, all can be considered normal for older people. Therefore, regular checkups and close monitoring of health indicators become one of the key factors in detecting cancer early, or precancerous changes, when the chance of treatment is still high, and the intervention method is still gentle. The U.S. health system now has many cancer screening programs that are appropriate for age, gender, and risk factors, such as colonoscopy for people aged 45 and older to detect colorectal cancer early, regular mammograms to detect breast cancer in women, low-dose CT scans for people with a history of smoking to screen for lung cancer, PSA testing for prostate cancer, and new blood tests like Gallery that can screen for dozens of types of cancer in the early stages. Unfortunately, not all seniors have access to, or are fully aware of, these tests. Many people delay because they think, "I'm old, why bother getting tested?" That is a misconception. In fact, many types of cancer, if detected early in the elderly, can still be treated very effectively, helping to prolong life and improve quality of life. Not to live forever, but to not have to endure pain, complications, or complete dependence on others in the remaining years. Regular checkups are not just about cancer. It is also an opportunity for doctors to monitor weight, blood pressure, blood sugar, liver and kidney function, and inflammation indicators, thereby detecting early signs of exhaustion, infection, nutritional imbalance, factors that can silently worsen cancer prognosis if not detected and intervened promptly. For people undergoing cancer treatment, it is extremely important to have regular checkups, do tests to monitor treatment response, and take regular imaging to detect early recurrence or metastasis. Missing an appointment or being a few months late can significantly reduce the chance of survival. In the context of the elderly being forgetful and easily confused, it is essential for relatives to help record checkup schedules, remind, pick up and drop off, or participate in consultation sessions with the doctor. In addition, caregivers need to closely monitor small changes in daily activities. Eating less, sleeping more, walking slowly, changing personality, signs that can warn that something is going on in the body. No one knows the patient better than the loved one who is by their side every day. Taking note of unusual signs and discussing them with the doctor will help the monitoring process be much more accurate. In short, whether you are a healthy senior, undergoing cancer treatment, or a caregiver, always keep a proactive mindset. Don't wait until you have symptoms to go to the doctor. Don't think that when you're old, knowing won't change anything. Being proactive today can be an opportunity to live a few more years of health, independence, and independence. And that's not just life. It's dignity that every senior deserves to keep for themselves. Cancer in the elderly is not the end. It can be a pause, a time to pause, take a deep look at your life and begin a new, stronger, more intentional journey. In this video, we've gone through 5 seemingly simple lifestyle changes that can make a vital difference, from an anti-inflammatory diet, to daily exercise, to getting enough sleep and mental stability, to maintaining a healthy body, and especially regular checkups to proactively detect abnormalities early. Don't underestimate the power of the little things. A vegetable-rich meal, a short walk, a good night's sleep, a warm conversation, all are building blocks for a body that can fight disease. And the great thing is, you don't have to do it alone. Family, loved ones, doctors, the medical community can all be your support system if you decide to take action today. If you are a caregiver for an elderly loved one, help them maintain these positive changes. If you are someone who is facing cancer, believe that every small step you take is a step towards fighting cancer. Share this video with those you care about, because who knows, a small